It's a Sony TT-F1. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Sony TT-F1. This is the companion unit to the SL-F1, the portable Sony unit, which is sort of loosely based on a C9. I mean, it's C9 vintage then. There is actually another video I'm working on, and it sort of got shelved because I just got so busy with lots and lots of other things. Where I had a power supply issue. It's one I bought off eBay ages ago, and it turns out it's the start circuit that's faulty, and I just haven't had time to go through it and get it sorted. In the meantime, I did buy this one. I've actually got a few F1s, and I thought, well, I'll get this just so I can get another F1 up and running as a complete set. And this one is apparently working. Tell immediately the channel change buttons have had it, which is very common on these. Whether I change these, I don't know. Does anyone still use the RF side of it, the tuning side of it? I suppose I could do it, but yeah, sometimes, even though they don't feel like they're very positive, they will work. So we'll see how we get on with them. But they certainly feel very sort of flat and not much is going on. It does have some tape on, which might mean maybe no, capture's fine. So that's really cool. It's actually nice that somebody took the time to put that on. I actually bought this probably about a year ago now. It's terrible. Things just take so long at the moment to get done, and yeah, we have got a lot more fun stuff to come as a result of that, but when we get to it, isn't it? So I don't know, am I going to plug this in or am I going to take the power supply out and check it first? The main reason I say that is that there are a couple of caps on the primary side, 350 volt. I can't remember what the what value they are, but they do have a habit of leaking. These aren't quite so bad for it, but I always like to change them. So shall we just give it a try, see what happens? Yeah, well, that's working. No, I can't turn it on without an F1. Oh yes, I can. Yeah, so that isn't working. The display is good. Yes, that's great. So thank you very much. No. So what I will do, let's take the power off it, and we will just take that power supply out and have a look at it, change those caps, and we'll have a look at these buttons as well. I don't know. I mean, I've got remotes for these as well, so if you want to change channel, just use the remote. But it just depends how pedantic I want to be with this. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I've removed the top. So next, let's get the power supply out. So 2 screws down here. I don't know whether you necessarily have to remove this bar, but I always take it off. I just find it easier to maneuver. And then 2 screws down here. And then we should be able to lift this out. A little bit of a manoeuvring. and there is mains in, and then you've got the power out. There's a lot of cables here. One goes to the timer section, and the tuning, logic, all of that. And the other to the RFIF sections. Oh, there's a third one as well. A lot of power. So let's just move this out of the way. So to get in, two screws on the side. These are short self-tappers, and then these two screws. Have washers on, shake proof and normal. I don't know whether they all had that extra washer. Don't remember it. But yeah, you're actually disengaging the heatsink, I believe, from the outer shell. Yes. So just to help transmit the heat, and then to get the actual power supply out, you've got to take these out. This will actually release this heatsink as well. So this is only held on to the case with these 3 screws. Like so, and then this should just slide out. And this has been recapped. Maybe I've already done this, because they look like my ones. So I've already done this. Excellent. Oh, that's good. So this is a pain, because it's glued. But what I do is I tend to try and sort of, rather than try and slide it off, because you'll never slide it off, it's so well glued, is just sort of get it off here, and then slowly just hack through the glue. You can see the glue's still in there, and it's still offering that isolation or isolating barrier. But yeah, I've put new heatsink compound on that and everything, so that's good. I haven't on this side, but yeah, this is all done, which is great. I've even done that one by the looks of it. I've recapped a lot, so that's great. So put this back together, and we'll have a look at those buttons, I think. Okay, so power supply's back in. I'm going to take the front off. Well, I've started taking the front off, and I forgot to even get the camera. Screw each side, and just slacken off the screws for the bottom, just so it can sort of come out. Like so. And we need to unplug everything. Because I'm obviously going to be working on this board, so a little bit fiddly to do like this, but it'll work. It'll be fine. They're all unique, these connectors, so I'm not convinced that door is 100%. So there's that, and hammered screws. So this should now, I think, come out. There we go. There's a clip down there that holds that on, and those are the buttons, and I think I've got some. I might not. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, this has all been cleaned. It's almost like I've got this ready, but I'm debating on those capacitors now, because I have a feeling somebody else has done that, not me. It just doesn't quite look like my work. And there was no heatsink compound on there. I thought there was, but there isn't, because it was all crumbling and went everywhere. So I've taken all that off and replaced that, so that's good. But yeah, I'll find some switches if I can, and we'll crack on. Okay, so the buttons didn't go too well. I removed the offending articles, and some of them actually fell apart. They are very flimsy, to be fair, and they're just glued. But gold contacts, I mean, they're really good quality, but they just lose their springiness, which is so common with this type of switch. So I started putting these switches on, but I tried sort of mounting as an experiment in a slightly different place as well, because these aren't fitting very well. And I just gave up, to be honest, because this is just, it's not good enough. So I've managed to find, they are 8 mil in height, tact switches that just have 2 connections, so they'll just go straight across, and they should do the trick. While we wait for those, because they're going to probably take a couple of weeks, we take this off and have a look at that DC AC module, and also chop out those batteries, because they'll be long since expired. I have to take the screw out, or at least loosen it off. There we go. And then take out this. And there we go. So first thing is to take this off, which is a bit of a feat in itself, to be honest, because these you need a lot of heat. I've got 100-watt iron there, and yeah, then we'll get the can open, which again causes some sort of debate, because quite a few people just Dremel off the solder, but I do like to desolder the can. But yeah, I'll change the caps in there, and should be somewhere near good to go. so there we have it. One slightly cooked AC, DC AC converter. So this will not go back with this in. I just bin that. I do put the can back on the top, but yeah, I just change these caps, and hopefully we should be all good to go. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I've bought some of these. They are from eBay. They only had 2 sizes, and I struggled to find any other sizes, so I'm just hoping they'll be okay. These ones I've bought for C7s, so I can do the timer buttons on those. But these are for the F1, and they have their pins in the centre, which is really, really useful. And I've placed one on the board, not soldered it yet, and it does fit. I mean, it's a bit sloppy, but once it's soldered it'll be fine. But I think they'll be perfect. Could do with another mil maybe on the height, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's so much better than this. This is just such a mess. You can see why I've experimented as well, and it just didn't work. But the height of the switch is a little bit more than these, so yeah, I'm hoping we should have some luck. So let's crack on. So they're all in. Some of them aren't quite straight, but they're straight enough. I have just pressed it back into the front cover. A little bit more travel than I'd like, but it works. They're fine. They look good. You know, obviously they feel a bit different because they've got a click. But yeah, that's really, really good. Really pleased with that. So I'll put the front cover on, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Super. So this is all recapped now. Nice caps on there. So I'm going to put the bottom cover on. Just going to put the top metal cover on. But part of me almost wants to leave it out. Is it really going to be that bad with all this metal around? But I'm not going to take that risk. So yeah, put this back in the can. The top can, yeah, that's fine. What I'll do, I'm going to solder on some wire just to hold this on, I think. Just melt some solder onto the outside of the case with the big iron, and then just bring it through and put a bit of solder on there, and that should hold it on. I only need to hold it on, so yeah, but yeah, let's get and do that next. So I'll put on some leads, and yeah, just use a normal iron, to be honest, which is quite handy. So we'll get this lined up. So there we go, that's on, all good. So we'll pop it back in the TT-F1 and I suppose give it a test. Okay, so I changed the 315 milliamp fuse that feeds the a DC-DC AC converter, and yeah, it's good. Just thought I would, because they do get strained with age. So let's give it a try. You don't need a deck plugged into it to try it. So that's looking good. And let's try these buttons. Well, they don't seem to be doing anything at the moment. Oh, okay. What that was about. A bit more travel on them than I'd like, but they do work. So what's going on there? Set the clock. I need something a little bit more than just my finger. You have to press it. Set it to the time it actually is, which is 1:15. Blimey. Next. Super. Okay. That switch, that could be part of the problem, to be honest, because that switch is noisy. And I don't mind taking this apart again to clean that switch, but I'd rather it sort of self-clean itself. Yeah, you see, it's much better. Cool. Okay. So, I suppose we ought to put it back together and try it with the F1. Let's crack on. Okay, so I've got an SL-F1 ready to go, all plugged in. This one actually has new heads in it. I've actually got a second one as well, which is pretty much good to go as well. I do have a second TT-F1 as well, so we'll see how that all goes in a future video. But let's give this a test. Got the remote as well, so Oop. Yeah, still not too sure about this TT-F1, but we'll see. Let's give it a try. I do wonder if you've got a logic issue with this, you know. Logic issue with the, oh, there we go. That's just weird. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Press play. So yeah, that's working well. Tracking left and right. going to have the problems with the test signal switch like we do on the C9. That catches a lot of people out. I have no video. Oh, you've got the test signal switch fixed. So yeah, I think we're all good to go. Like I say, I'm not totally convinced I don't have a logic issue with this TT-F1, but I'll test it and we'll see how we go. I do have another one, so yeah, maybe that'll end up being the companion to this F1. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it as far as it goes. We'll see how the testing goes. And yeah, I'll probably update actually on how that went and if I did actually have issues with the logic. Reason I think I have logic issues as well is the channel change. It seems to not remember the last channel very well and it will just go to a random channel. So I don't know, there's something not quite right there. But yeah, I mean it seems fine. Let's do ×2. Not going to be perfect because it's only a 2-head machine. Pause. Slow forward, slow back. Forward. Goes forward a few frames. Back. Take off pause. Yeah, so change program there. 1. Doesn't seem to go to 1 either. It's just a bit, I don't know, I just am not that convinced that the logic is working as it should. Maybe you can let me know, was there a service bulletin on this that I'm missing? I don't have those for this unit. I don't know, or maybe it's just there's just something else not quite right, but let's press. Oh yeah, you see now it's locked up and then it will go off. It will just go off when it feels like it. Oh, there we go. And it's gone back on. It's like it's buffering the inputs. It's not taking. Oh, now it's gone off. It's like it knows I've pressed it, but it doesn't want to come on straight away. So that's on, but it's not on. Really weird. Will it go off? Maybe. Yeah, you can see the channel numbers are going crazy. It's like the key scan isn't correct. So let's try it with the remote. Oh. Yeah, see, the logic isn't right. I mean, I think I have actually the logic control boards from another unit that I could put in this. That might not be a bad idea. Oh, so that's working, but the remote isn't. Oh. Yeah, so it's just, it's almost like, it's just noisy. It's almost like there's noise on the power rail or something. That's a bit of a stab in the dark, isn't it? It won't go to 1 for whatever reason, but sometimes it does. Yeah, I think if I look for those other boards, swap them over, and then I think we might be somewhere near. Yeah. Press pause here. Yeah, you see the pause is fine on the machine itself is fine. Oh, it's gone to audio dub. Oh, and it's gone off. It's weird. And now it's fine. Interesting. Okay, so I think I will dig out those boards. Yeah, probably the front. I don't know. Let's investigate. Okay, so I've run this quite a bit, and it's weird. Once it's warmed up, it seems to go on and off fine. The tape functions seem fine, but it's when it's cold. I still can't select channel 1 for some reason. Sometimes, but sometimes I can. The clock is fine, but you can see it's reliable now. But yeah, sometimes there's a delay, sometimes there's not. It's just really weird. And I mean, I suspect maybe there's a clock issue. Something isn't quite right. Channel's changed again. Let's turn it off. On to 12. You know, it's just not really reliable enough. So my thinking is I do have another. And this one's actually pretty tidy, even though it's sort of not looking very tidy at the moment. It does need a good clean. But this hasn't been in the damp as well. This one has been, or this has been in the damp at some point in its life, and I wonder if that's what's caused it. It could be that variable cap even that's just not working consistently well for the clock. I don't know, but I'm thinking, because I need to get this sorted, I will check this one, and then I think the power supply is the start circuit on the power supply is bad, so I'll take the power supply, swap the power supplies over. I think the channel buttons are okay on, or maybe not, so I might have to do those. But yeah, let's crack on. So, other units, I'm going to power it on. I just have a feeling that it is actually faulty. I don't think it will go bang. Yeah, it just doesn't start. Nothing there at all. Okay, so like I say, I think it's the start circuit on the power supply. I do have another start circuit, but I'm not going to worry about that now. We will return to the TT-F1 with the odd logic issues and do the power supply at the same time. So do it all together, because we know what's wrong with that. I know it's a bit of a nightmare from a repair point of view if we were looking at it blind, but we know what's wrong with it, so that's fine. So yeah, let's crack on. So power supply swapped over, so let's give it a go. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's not too bad. The display is a little bit duller. Buttons all work, so I'm not going to worry about those. Oh, wait. Well, 9 doesn't. Yeah, 9 doesn't. But are you really going to worry about that? I have to say the other one does, with those new buttons, it does feel really quite nice. I bet with a bit of work that'll get going. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's put the top back on and give it a whirl, I suppose. Okay, so here it goes. Turn it on and we'll press play. I'll just wind off on this bit because it's sort of a bit random. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like I say, display isn't quite as bright on this unit, but you know, that's perfectly acceptable. And yeah, I mean, that's great. So we do have this power supply to sort out. We have the logic issue on that board to sort out as well. So yeah, we will return in haste and try and get that other unit going. I do have another F1 as well to go with it, so yeah, that'd be quite cool to get going. But yeah, so with that, we have sort of a success, although I did cheat. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Maybe learned something from it as well. And yeah, number 9 works. I just rubbed the button and it's now working pretty reliably. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, the domes, the sort of metal dome inside the switch sort of gets a bit corroded, and of course these are never used. I mean, we never used anything past 4. So yeah, I didn't realise these actually have a 9 event timer as well. I always thought it was 8. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.
Yes, and we're always so glad to see you. Why don't you make yourself comfortable? Come on, take off your coat. Sure, take it off. It's hot in here, you know. Oh, it's so wrinkled. I could press it for you.
Oh, thank you.
The pants is wrinkled, too. I could press the whole suit in a jiffy.
Oh, no,